Hi, this is Hassan Sadri for Visionary Eye Institute in Newport Beach, California. I'm here with my good friend here, Todd, who is going to tell us about Aldeyra at OIS at AAO 2019 in San Francisco, which actually is shockingly sunny right now outside. So welcome, Todd. How you doing?
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah, how's your meeting going?
It's great. We had a great presentation this morning. It's super to see all the people in the industry here.
Yeah.
It's a great one-stop shop. You can get everything done in one day, although we're here through AAO as well. So
very good. Yeah, so I saw the presentation. Pretty exciting stuff. Tell us, for those people who don't know Aldeyra, tell us a little bit about your company, your vision.
Company's been around for over 10 years now, an immunology company at heart, really founded on a novel immunological target called RASP, which is, as I described this morning, very central in the inflammatory cascade. Th1, Th2, Th17, inflammasome, MEK-kappa B all relate to RASP in some form or other. Yeah. So what we thought we had years ago and have now proven this out in the clinic is a broad-based anti-inflammatory immune modulating a series of compounds now in phase 3 trials. Really gratifying to start. Thank you. To start from really an idea all the way through to phase 3. There aren't too many companies like that. Today we have actually 4 phase 3 programs, 3 of which are in the eye. So we're spanning anterior, posterior in the eye. We have now a retinal program that we acquired from a company called Helio in January of this year, which we're excited about. And then dry eye disease and allergic conjunctivitis are our 2 phase 3 programs with our lead molecule, Reproxalap, which is a RASP inhibitor. So there we are, lots going on.
There's lots going on, good spaces, a lot of, as you know, a lot of unmet sort of, to this date, needs for patients of dry eyes in particular, and allergy. I mean, these are clinical disease states that are relatively, I think, wide open still.
Right.
When you look at it, so it's exciting. Tell us why those 2 disease states, and probably more importantly, when you're talking about allocating resources as a leader, how do you kind of prioritize that?
Oh, that's the art of biotech, is how do you prioritize? Because there's always finite capital until you have revenues coming in, and what do you do and what do you not do is even more important perhaps. Yeah. No, dry eye and allergic conjunctivitis, I could go on forever. How long do we have? The rest of the day?
You have as long as you have, but I'll cut you off.
Huge unmet medical need, as you said. So I think with dry eye disease, Restasis, Xiidra, clear unmet need. I think most physicians like yourself and most patients would argue that those drugs aren't quite cutting it, and there are many patients that aren't doing well with dry eye disease and they continue to suffer. So new approaches are needed. The RASP inhibition approach is totally novel, so just completely different. And
so MOA is pretty critical.
The mechanism of action is completely different, and what's borne out, at least in phase 2B trials, we have activity and a sign and a symptom, which is what the FDA requires. And as I presented this morning, wonderful statistical significance, new statistical approaches, new ways of identifying high-risk populations and testing them in trials, all of which agreed with the FDA. So that is the basis of the ReNeu phase 3 trial that's ongoing right now. We plan to announce the completion of ReNeu Part 1, which is an adaptive trial, by the end of this year. We'll guide on ReNeu Part 2, which is the pivotal phase of the trial, which will include sample size, it will include confirmation of the endpoints, it'll include dosing regimens. So lots to say about dry eye coming up. I continue to believe we will be potentially the next novel entrant in the dry eye space, and we're thrilled to be there. Allergic conjunctivitis, equally fascinating. I made the claim this morning, I don't think a novel therapy has been introduced in allergic conjunctivitis in 40 years. Yeah. Depends on how you define novel, but maybe mast cell inhibitors. I think there's some argument whether those work apart from antihistamines. But if you go back to antihistamines, you're talking many, many decades ago, and steroids decades before that. So I think the literature suggests about a third of the world has allergic conjunctivitis, and a third of those patients don't respond to antihistamines. So a ninth of the world isn't doing well. And multiply that times 6 billion, you get 2/3 of a billion people. So a huge market. Now what's interesting, I think these 2 diseases are related. So the most common exacerbator of dry eye disease is pollen, and the second most common symptom of dry eye disease is itchy. itchiness,
Sure.
itching.
Sure.
So clearly there's an overlap, and if you look at the patients that have both diseases, about 50% of dry eye patients have some form of allergy, and 50% of allergic conjunctivitis patients have some form of dry eye. So we're really pleased to be one of the first drugs, maybe except for steroids, that work in both diseases.
Sure. And it's exciting. It's a big Venn diagram of, as you know,
Yes.
of patients, and so the data on dry eyes alone is like what 34 million
Yes.
on the
It's
conservative side.
remarkable.
Huge marketplace.
Huge.
Terrific. So what are you excited about 2020 and beyond? What's coming down the pike?
2020 is a great year for us. Lots going on. So we have the RENEW trial in dry eye disease wrapping up. We're going to announce shortly our next phase 3 in allergic conjunctivitis. So we posted a positive phase 3 in March of this year. That was the Alleviate trial in allergic conjunctivitis. We have another phase 3 coming up, having to do with the allergen chamber. Based on discussions with the FDA. So that will happen in 2020. So dry eye and allergic conjunctivitis, I hope we can be done with clinical testing next year and be in a position to file either a dual NDA or a concurrent NDA for those filings.
So what's the thought? You're going to commercialize? You're going to sell assets? What's your overall? You're going to get a sales force? Take us through it.
So potentially,
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's another biotech question, right?
Yeah,
How are you going to
yeah.
spend your money, and
Yeah.
when do you take the next step,
Yeah.
and so forth?
What does that look like? Yeah.
So potentially, I mean, I think the beauty of ophthalmology is it's feasible to launch. You can launch a product even as a small company.
Yeah.
So you look at Xiidra's launch, 200 or 300 sales reps, not 2,000,
Sure.
not 10,000.
Sure.
Like you would
Unlike
have in
internal medicine. Yeah.
Unlike in
Yeah.
sleep medicine
Yeah.
or cardiovascular medicine
Yeah.
or even oncology, sometimes you see these massive sales forces. Certainly not the case in ophthalmology. So feasible. And
So that's something within the wheelhouse potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, PVR, which is our retinal disease, proliferative vitreoretinal retinopathy, that is something we could launch very easily. I mean, there's, I don't know how many retinal surgeons, but a highly focused, targeted sales effort there, a rare disease. So we have all kinds of commercialization options, and we're excited about 2021 after that.
Very good, very good. So we're glad to have you, and I want to wish you a rest of a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you so
having
much,
us.
Todd. Congratulations.